and we go through the same thinking and the process of life, then we're just going to be robots. But the very fact that God said that I knew you before your mother knew you, He individually picked all of us to be exactly who we need to be. And so, in order for us to be that individual, we have to go through some trials and tribulations in order for us to grow. And so, grow as an individual, but with your own identity. Your
Yeah.
identity not in societal wise, but in Christ. So just like I go through certain things, you're gonna go through certain things, but it's something that how God can use me for your life and something that you can use. He could use you for mine, and there's certain things that we're gonna just learn. And so that goes back into the conversation that we had before. It's about surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
For
I
real.
wouldn't be who I am today. I would not be Adira Gray in this moment, standing and sitting here with you right now, if I didn't go through the things that I've gone through. I wouldn't be able to have this conversation. I wouldn't be, in the most humblest way, I would not be able to be more advanced than most 22-year-olds.
I feel that too, and like, don't you feel like wherever you go, whatever person you meet, like you take a little piece of them wherever, like when you go on with life.
Um,
Not like I'm not like counting like bad stuff, like kind of like taking whatever, like basically like just learning.
yes, definitely, definitely. I think that every time I come encounter someone, I do take something that I can
Yeah,
learn out of it. Rather is a person that isn't mature enough to speak to me in a certain level or whatever it is, I'm able to take it. Simply because, once again, you as an individual have gone through something that I've never gone through, but it's about how you made it through and the tools that you gain along the way. And so that is why, like, for me, there's so many different things I've seen people do and be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Why? Simply because I'm learning through you
yeah,
that I don't have to go through that in order for me to learn that lesson.
exactly. I just said it on the other one too. I was like, and I'm watching these like podcasts, and like they're giving out all this game about like business and stuff. I'm 20. I'm 21 years old. They're 22. These guys are 40, 50.
Yeah.
They've been through it, done that, and now they're telling me to do this and do that.
Hmm.
So like, I don't have to go through what they went through
Yeah.
because like I'm already getting like the lessons of somebody who already went through the ringer.
Yeah.
So like,
You don't have to
it's
go
just
through
usually
it.
people like listen to stuff like that and they don't use it.
Hmm.
That be the problem. Like, why people don't get like where they want to go.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I think that based on what you just said, even like they don't want to go where they need to go, is simply because I believe us as human beings we limit ourselves, and so because it's like there's no limits at all,
At
even
all.
though that you have the circumstances that you're in, it could be bad, good, or traumatizing. We have to understand at some point we have to fight ourselves through certain things and why we are in a certain place. And so I always say that there's no limitations except the ones you set upon yourself. Um, I did that in a on TikTok before, and I was explaining that we stop ourselves. God has given us a slate of everything, but you have to choose what is it that you want to do with it. We can sit, dwell, cry about it, or we can grow from it and move past it and use the tools to be successful in the thing that you need to be successful in. And so that is, I think that's just like my mindset. And a lot of people can say, well, you might be a little biased because you really haven't gone through anything. I've gone through a lot of spiritual lessons, but nothing too crazy. I always say that God has given me rope to learn, but never enough rope to hang myself.
Yeah.
And so, and it could just be my very own perspective as well. You see what I'm saying? That some people just sit there and hang themselves because they hung themselves, not because God hung themselves, if that makes sense. And
I got you.
so, yeah. And I think that thinking on that type of level is just very important, not only for you, but even the legacy after, because you're gonna have kids. You're gonna have a wife. They're gonna have kids, and what you do today, you can break the generational curses, or you can keep them, and then your kids gonna endure the same thing, and their kids will do as well.
But I think that's also good for you too, cause you didn't have to be at rock bottom. Correct me if I'm wrong. You'd have to be at rock bottom to find out like, oh, I got to get myself together, or like I gotta get my life together. I gotta get on this path or whatever.
Well, for me, like I was saying earlier, it's like I'm human.
Yeah.
And so a lot of things that people wouldn't expect of me, things happen. Like literally things like the one of the things I told you about earlier. You would
So
never
yeah.
have thought about that, right? So it's just like I do have my moments of I wouldn't call it a rock bottom. I believe like rock bottom is just like literally at the ground. Like, you know what I
Like
mean?
maybe not like rock bottom, but like in your mental rock bottom.
No, that is different. And this is what I want to say about that is that I only get there if I'm not spiritually aligned.
Hmm.
Because certain people, God, it says, for many are called and few are chosen. So that's a scripture. That's Matthew 22:14. It just shows that some people are just called to do certain things, but so many people are chosen to work for God's kingdom. And that is literally like a light bulb. You take a light bulb out of its electricity, it doesn't work. So the moment that I am outside of the number one thing that keeps me going, which is God, that means not being at my word, not praying, not doing what I gotta do, not a religious level. I'm not religious, it's a difference. So but on a level of just being a disciple of God, a follower of Christ, and making sure that I am aware that, having my ears open to hear his voice and to see through my spiritual eyes and not my fleshly ones. And so the moment that I'm outside of that is the moment I get to the place where my mental state is jacked up, confusion, not understanding what's happening, no clarity, no nothing. And I'd be so discombobulated. And I know for a fact that I've been way too away from God for way too long. When I get to that place, I know that. So yes, I have been in those places, and that is how different things come up, such as like one of the habits I had. Those things happen.
Yeah.
But I also use those as spiritual lessons on why now it's so important for me to be grounded in Christ.
And I got another question, like, how is it when you come across guys that are moving with like lust? Because like that's a really big problem. I think that's both sides, but it's usually men, a lot of men for real.
Um, what I want to say about that, men that I come across with lust, I think for me is a little different. The reason why is because the men, not boys, men that I come across are men that are they think on even higher level than I do. So it's like it's either for me, it's like I attract men that are on their mess. Like, yes, I'm a man and this is what I want, but this is what I need from you as a woman. You know, not saying that lust isn't a thing that they have. We all do. We're human.
Yeah,
But the number one focus is, life, career, their legacy. And that's important for women to understand is that you hold a man's legacy at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I don't come across a lot of young men that are immature. So if that makes sense.
So you feel like what's like your age range? You feel like you attract the most for sure.
Oof. I attract let's see. They're always older than me. So probably like I think the youngest might have been 24.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 24. Now you do have like young men that are younger, but it's
Hmm.
like you don't want necessarily just me. You like the fact that I'm like a mother, and you don't have that. So you're attracted to the fact, obviously, me, but you're more attracted to the fact that of the things that I possess as a wife and a mother. So it's just like you don't have a mom and you want that because I cook, I do these things, I give
Because you could
you
take that
like the
role
mother
in some
role.
ways.
And then you have the men that is like, you will be awesome to be a mother. I don't need you to be my mother. I need you to be a wife. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a difference for me being a mother to somebody than somebody who wants me to be a mother and a wife.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, my neck feels crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm
So
just sitting wrong.
you
But
can change it.
huh?
You can start around.
Yeah, that's what I did do. What the deck. But anyways, like how you feel about relationships?
Okay. So in what regard though?
Like how do you feel about like in your life relationships?
Okay,
Like, are
so
you looking for anything right now?
I am. I am. The thing is when I think about looking, people think about searching. I'm not
Well, you're
searching.
not
You know what
searching,
I mean?
but I mean it in a regard like I don't know how to explain that, but more so like open to it.
Open, yes, yes, definitely. I do. I want to be married. I want to be married young. So like when I'm 24, 25. You know, I thought it was gonna be at 22, but it's not here. But yeah, I definitely want to be married. So in my life, a 22-year-old that wants to be married young, I have no time to play games. So it's more in the regard of just like there's a lot of people who want to just be in my face, right? But I have to be picky, and not a picky of like trivial things. I'm talking about things as a woman. Like I know what I possess and I know what I need as I'm out of a man. Like I want a man to lead me, not just to be like leading me. Like oh no, I need a man who can lead me in Christ. That's different. You know, a man of God. Like and so because I've been working on being a Proverbs 31 woman, and so and that's being a wife and a
Hmm.
mother and all of these things at a young age. So I need a leader that is able to do his part as a man. And so, yes, people they like, oh, he's attractive and he's this and he's that, but that's not important to me.
Can he lead?
But yeah, but can he lead me? You see what I'm saying? Is he able to do the things that I need from him? Because I know I'm able to give exactly what he needs, but is he able to give the exact back to me? That goes back into that growing part, pouring into one and going pouring back into each other's cups. That is so important, you know, because I don't want to be drained. I don't. You know, I want to be submissive. I don't want to. No, I
And
don't.
like that's just how a woman is though. Like that's how it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be that way, but the thing is, I think now is more of you have a lot of children raising children, and so they're
For
not
sure.
able to um, raise. Not saying that they're not able to, but that is a lot of the issue. So a lot of women cannot be they not they're not able to raise a lot of like children on the level that we need them to be.
So you know
So
how
then you
many?
have a whole bunch of kids,
Yeah,
grown men, but they're children, if that makes sense.
yeah, and it's crazy. Like just like you said, and like especially like I'm not. This is every race for real, but you see it a lot in like the black community. It'd be a lot of like kids that grow up without dads, maybe even grow up without a mom. But it happens to every race though.
Yes, but I think a lot of the times, a lot of people see that narrative of just black people
Mm.
having that, and it's like so broad. I think it's because it's so much on the media
Yeah,
and
like
how we're perceived on the media shows like, oh, we're killers, we're this, we're that.
exactly.
Like, I know you just saw this dude just going to some church. You know what I mean? Like, he just went into a whole church and he did this. Think about it's like you were saying, like, there's so many in different other races that they have so many issues more than us. But
It's just that with like the black people, it just get broadcasted more and
yeah,
put on the news more. It's like more in your face.
yeah,
So you don't, cause I ain't gonna lie. Like I run into a lot of people I talk to. They we end up getting into the conversation about like dads and stuff, and they be like, oh, "I don't have a dad," and they won't be black at all.
mm,
They'll be like Puerto Rican or something, anything.
yeah,
That it happens a lot, and I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But yeah, I definitely want a man.
'Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was in that mindset like it was only black people like maybe like 5 6 years ago. But as I get to talk to people more, like a lot of people, my whole like my whole like mental just changed. Like in the way I see it, my whole perception
Yeah.
is really crazy. Like, and I used to be like, oh, I ain't gonna lie, I'm more into like being like, wait, what's the word? Like, I'm very like black, empowering too. But I do like other cultures also. I try to like not like be like, oh yeah, if it's not black, it's not right. If you know what I'm talking about.
Mm,
Some people be like that. If it's not
yes.
black, it's not right.
I think a lot of like young black men are like that now because of just I don't know why, but I think it has to do with self esteem,
For
honestly.
sure.
Because they look at themselves and be like, I don't like this, so I don't want a black woman. But I'm like, your mother's black. Like she raised you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that goes back into you. Are you single? Do you want what is it that you want?
I'm gonna be honest. Like right, I ain't gonna lie, kind of like what you, not exactly what you were saying, because you was like based on like a woman,
Yeah.
but I just want somebody to like grow with me, like just grow with me mentally,
Yeah,
physically, and just keep on getting better. Like that's
you
the type of
got to.
stuff I'm looking for right
You
now.
got to. You definitely. So, do you want to be married? You just want a relationship?
I ain't gonna lie. It's not even. I'm just open to like. I'm very like in the flow. So like whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Like I'm just going with the flow. I ain't even thinking about it too much. But like whatever happens, happens
Yeah, I think, but you gotta be careful with that as well, though,
for sure.
because it's like, you want to make sure that we always have like an end goal. So
Yeah,
even though like, yeah, I want a relationship. Not saying we're gonna get married tomorrow, but my end goal is I want to be married. You see what I'm saying? Like you
yeah,
want to make sure that you have that firmly down when you first get in a relationship with somebody, because you very much can be with somebody who like, I just want to sit here with you, just look at you. I don't want nothing more than what we have. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's
Okay, it
it's
does happen.
important. That's definitely important. That's why I always say, like, yeah, I want to be married. So anyway, I'm so serious. So many people try to talk to me. I'm like, well,
But you was right. That is my end goal too. Like I do want to
yeah,
get married eventually.
exactly. So, and it's like that's the first thing. When a young man tries to like talk to me, I'm like, well, I want to be married. They're like, okay. I'm like, is that something that you want? They're like, no. I'm like, well, it was nice talking to you. We could be friends.
Nah, but I ain't gonna lie. I do feel like that guy. He probably does want to get married. He's just saying like for right now.
But that's the thing, you having the conversation. If you're having
True.
a first, like we're having this conversation right
Mm,
now, when you're having a conversation with somebody you're trying to approach, or maybe we sit down and we just having this awesome conversation, and I'm considering based on how we're even talking, I might consider just talking to you, right?
yeah,
I'm asking questions the same way that you're asking questions, and we're having a discussion on life because we're not children anymore. So it's like, well, is this something that you look at? Is this something that you want? Oh, if it's a no, then this is not going to work.
but I do feel you like you throwing it out there. Like
Yeah,
you
I
want
want
to
to be
hear what
married.
his outlook on it.
Yeah, you don't got to get married tomorrow. We don't got to
Yeah,
get married in 20 years. But
yeah.
even if I don't want to start the process, guys, I'm a woman, so I have emotions.
Cause like
The emotions are crazy.
just like what you said, like these are all. I don't want to say test run sounds crazy. Like, that's crazy to say, but like you're filling these people out, these new people out,
Yeah, they cool.
and they're all just like you said. End goal is to marry for marriage.
Yeah, and because it's one of those things where it's just like, why waste your time? Why waste your emotions? Like I said, I'm a woman. So as a woman, you know how emotional I am?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's just like, if I love you, I love you. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be put in a position where I love you so much and it's just like I don't want to let you go, and I'm completely going against everything that I want because I want to be with you, because I love
yeah,
you. I don't want to do that. So why not just throw it out there right now? I want to be married. And then the number one thing for me, the number one question is where's your relation, how is your relationship with God? What is your spiritual or religious belief? Even though I'm not religious, I'm just a follower of Christ, a disciple of God, you know? So it's just like, I always say that because people think religious is like, oh, because you're a Christian, you're religious. No, religious is like doing something at a certain time. You're doing this, you're doing that. You don't like Muslims. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's different. You can do the practices, but what do you really believe? It's a difference. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's actually part of the first conversation as well. Where you at with that? Well, I'm. Oh, then we could be friends until you get to a place that you need to be. But this ain't gonna work for me. You know?
And then it'd be crazy because even the guys will like play this part with you, right? Like they love you.
Yeah.
They'll play along, like they'll just act. And I told one of my friends about it because I see one of my friends doing that, and I told him, I said, bro, that's just lame, bro. You might as well just be upfront with it. Like she'll respect you more for that. I
Yeah.
respect what I don't matter in that situation, but she'll respect you more for that just because you're being upfront and
Exactly.
honest.
Exactly. And I think that, I've had my experience, but yeah, I'd rather you come to me, talk to me. You don't want to be here, then don't be here. I'd rather you do that than actually hurt me.
Yeah,
Like, that's not, I mean, it's going to be like, oh, okay. But I respect you. I will respect you more than anything. I won't even be mad at you. Kudos to you. You know what I mean? I'll dap you up real quick because that's just like, I'd rather you do that than cheat.
and I noticed when you move around life like that, people like respect you more just for even like telling them like because this is what
Exactly.
we're supposed to do, but people don't do it for some reason. Like I
Exactly.
told my friend how it was genuinely like this is how I feel, bro. Like respect it or don't do it or don't do it. but this is how I feel. Like
Yeah,
just letting it out there, and he just does whatever he does with that.
exactly. It's so important because
It's very
it's
important.
not fun being cheated on. Like it's not. You know what I
Or like
mean?
being played, like
Yeah. Like what are you doing?
nah, that boy was wild. Like
What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like come on. And there's one of them things is just like knowing who I am, knowing who I am in my heart and just everything about me. You know, like anybody who knows me, like I'm the happiest person. I'm the cheerful person. You know, I don't be fighting. We don't argue. None of that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I'm all about communication, but for you to do something crazy like that to me, out of all people, come on, we could have just sat here and talked. You know what I mean? I don't want to, but I guess that sounds so black and white, and I guess it's about the part of not wanting to hurt somebody, but you end up hurting them. You do. You end up hurting them. So, but that.
so
Oh, sorry.
like, was it? You can finish what you were saying.
I was gonna say, but that just goes into the conversation of not letting the next person um pay for what the other person's done.
Yeah,
I don't think that you should do that as an individual. You
for
should never
sure.
do that. You
Because
know,
this is a whole new individual, man.
they ain't even do nothing yet.
Yeah,
You know what
hey,
I
yet,
mean?
yet, but like, I almost forgot what I was about to say. But what would you tell like the 14 or 15-year-old you?
The 14, 15-year-old me, what would I tell her? I would definitely tell her to constantly have faith. Constantly, constantly have faith because in the long run, that is what keeps you. You know, having faith in God and realizing that God is not leaving you.
Yeah,
Like all of this that is going to happen is literally for you. It is for you to grow to be the individual that you are and will be 20 years from now. You know,
and
because
then
I've
like,
always been different.
and what you was going through, like, say I just got into a car accident. That's just right now. This is just God put me through a test. So like, whatever I feel right now, if I might be angry the first day or whatever, this is just how I'm gonna feel today. Tomorrow I'm gonna be good.
Exactly. I was definitely mad. I just
And
bought
like,
that
but
car.
when you, yeah, nah, it's just different. But like, just like you said, it's just the next day. It's always gonna be the next day.
Yeah, it's always gonna be something new. You know, it's not like now that I've gone through so many different lessons, and learned from them. This wasn't one where it was just like, dang, like that beforehand, like a long time ago, how I used to feel. It's like, okay, God, yeah, I'm mad. I was mad, but in the long run, it's just like he gonna work it out. He did it before.
Exactly. I
Did it
ain't gonna lie.
before.
I didn't got like way calmer in like crazy situations. Like now, I'm just like, bro, it's just like I'm gonna be good in a little bit because I know I'm gonna fix it. Like
Yeah,
when I
and
think about it like that, it just makes me feel like way better. Like I feel like people say they live when they like 30. I feel like I'm living now though, to be honest.
exactly. And I think it has to do with generation, though.
Yeah,
It has to do with generation because our generation, we're Generation Z. So in our generation, we're the richest generation that has ever lived.
for
Like
sure.
that is so crazy. So our thinking is completely different. Our limitations are different. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where we are like, I have this gift, I'm gonna go do it. Back then they limit because of um, the social dynamic of everything and everything like that. So we have nothing but freedom. We're sitting here on a podcast right now because of the
Literally,
freedom.
yeah.
They wouldn't do that back
They
then.
couldn't do that back then. And like just like you were saying, like our generation is very different. Like I remember
Different.
when I applied for my new job at Puerto and like the dude who was interviewing me, he told me, he said like whole generation, this new generation, they're so smart. Like they're over here like 21 years old, like looking at stocks and stuff. So he told him a dude that was like 19, he showed him a stock. He said, when this hits this number, I'm gonna be rich. And he was like, that's crazy. Like these
Yeah,
kids just different.
they're different. Like 14, 15
And,
millionaires.
and now kids, but it's
12.
definitely kids that's like 14, 15 in the stock.
Yes. Like, oh my, I'm looking
That
at
wouldn't even
like what?
surprise me. Like
It's crazy, but and that is why like my parents are learning now that we're not the same that you were. You know what I mean? Because my dreams is just like I can literally do anything I want to do. and know that I can do it with no limitations. I have the
Yeah.
freedom to do it. What y'all gonna say? You know what I mean?
And like some older people don't see it like that. Some older people like it be really people living like in negativity all the time though.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, this new generation is stupid and stuff like that.
Yes. I don't have that in my family. Well, my immediate family is because they've all grown, the entrepreneurs and everything like that. So I don't even have the mindset of working. Like I don't want to work, like not even a little bit. But I do what I have to do
Yeah.
in order for me to get to where I need to be. There's a difference. I just think that I had my first job at Jersey Mike's when I graduated, and I was just like, I quit like a month, and I was like, no. How are you my age telling me what to do? And
It's
then,
crazy.
and no, you do it. We got the same job. Go do it. You know what I mean? No. And after that, I was just like, yeah, I gotta have my business. And I got different certificates and school and all those different things. I only go to school not because I want to, simply because of the fact that I want to make sure that I'm covered all around. Like if I stand here and I turn, I'm covered. I got school, I got this, and I can do anything. So even if business don't work, which it will.
And I ain't gonna lie, talking to people is like a big thing too, especially when it comes to like getting better opportunities and stuff.
Yeah,
Like it could take you so far, bro. But like a lot of people our age, they try to be closed off and stuff, which is good too. Like I think it is definitely good to have your boundaries and like your privacy. But I think definitely talking to people is a really good thing, and it can
yeah,
really help you in the long run.
definitely,
Because
definitely.
like you probably just met Jeffrey across the corner. You might need an oil change or something, and you just met bruh. You might hit him up, be like, yo, he might give you a discount or something.
Yeah,
Like you never know what can happen because like, every time like life just smacks you in the face.
yeah, yeah.
So like build as many connections as you can, like plant
I
them
definitely
seeds.
do. Oh, I definitely do. Like I know. Oh my goodness. One thing about me, because I'm a life coach, I have met so many people. I have coached thousands of people. I'm not even exaggerating that number. I be on social media.
I'm not surprised at
You,
all, to be honest.
so with that, I also network. I know so many different people in different fields, and I was like, yo, you doing this? Oh, let me see who I have in order to get you connected real quick.
Yeah,
I definitely do that a lot because I always think about me and the very fact that it's so important that I love the fact that I have people in my corner to make sure that I get to where I need to be. And especially when you see somebody who doesn't have that, it's just like, I got you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, you want to do music? I know this producer. I know this. I know that. I know that. Oh, you want to own houses? I know somebody who do that. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Connection through
invest in.
connections, like
And so I try to put
that's why
everybody
it's always
on.
good to talk to people. Like you never
Exactly.
know.
Yeah, I definitely do my best with that because people need people. That's why I keep like my phone on a ringer 24/7 because I always tell people like call me at any time. And even in the middle of the night, wake me up. I'm gonna answer because especially when you're by yourself at night, isolated, that is when the enemy is able to just come in
Yeah,
and just in your mind, like, oh no, call me.
yeah.
Let's pray about it. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
You want to hear so crazy? Like my one of these ladies I work with at my other job, right, at Sonic, and I worked with her for like a couple of years or whatever. But she really cool. But she worked there for like 20 years. It's an Hispanic lady, and I asked, I was like, yo, so why you been here for so long?
Yeah.
Like, why you never left? Cause you could, it's like in my head, like you can get a better job, like, cause like people just be there cause they're either comfortable
Yeah.
or like they
Oh
just
my
don't want to move on.
goodness.
Well, that's the
Yes.
same thing. Whether comfortable and not want to move on.
No, definitely
But like,
because
I genuinely asked her. I genuinely wanted to know because like it's just crazy to me. Like,
now you sat there asking that.
because like, but my first like year, there, I'm like, bro, I can't be here longer than 2 years. And even though I end up being there longer, I still got me something better though.
Yeah.
And I still was like doing other stuff like this. Like,
I can't be anywhere longer than like 6 months. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm surprised on my last job that I was on, not the last one, but the last one before. I was a teacher for a middle school, Chancellor Middle School,
mm-hmm.
and I remember they did a award ceremony for like teachers and stuff, and I was leaving. I was leaving. See, so um, somebody said, yeah, somebody who was working in working here for 70 some years, 60 some years.
What?
I said, what? What are you doing? I was so blown because
Yeah.
why are you working here for that long?
It wasn't even a good job.
People love what they love. People call to do what they got to do. But I just know for me,
Yeah.
I am not here to be working for